Hi students, today's chapter is about working hours of adults. It talks from section 51 to 63 under the heading of working hours of adults. Section 51 talks about weekly hours, that is, how many hours a worker has to work per week. It is from, take example of from Monday to Sunday. If you talk about here, he has to work 48 hours per week. That is, each day he has to work for 8 hours. That is, for 1 week he has to only work for 6 days. That is, 8 hours into 6 is 48 hours. No adult worker shall be required or allowed to work for more than 48 hours in a week. That means the next section talks about weekly holidays. That is, 48 hours if a worker is working continuously in a week means then the next day, that is 1 week of holiday has to be given if the worker is continuously working for 48 hours. That is what that section 52 talks about. 51 talks about a worker has to work only of 48 hours in a week. If after 48 hours he has to be given 1 day as a holiday, which we say generally we have Sunday as a holiday. If other than Sunday, if a holiday is being declared, then automatically that has to be displayed a notice to the effect of the factory, or it has to be informed with the concerned inspector. Why? Because generally people according to the season or according to the conditions, they will go for the work on Sundays. If that is being encouraged in a factory means the manager of the factory has before it has to be displayed as a notice in the factory, and it has, or he has to inform with the inspector when they are going other than Sunday as a holiday. Generally, people will go with Sunday as a holiday. If they are going other day as a holiday after 48 hours of work in a week means then it has to be displayed. That is what weekly holidays talks about. Then coming to this compensatory holiday talking about, for example, if a worker is deprived of any weekly holiday, that is example he is working on a holiday, then that holiday has to be given as a compensation. That is compo. Generally in short form people will compo of what we call it as. That has to be given equal number of holidays whichever he is lost, which he came to work on the holiday. That is what compensatory holiday. Person who is coming on working day, a person who is coming on a holiday, that holiday has to be given as compensation in another working day as comp off. That is what compensatory holiday is talking about. These holidays are allowed within the same one or within 2 months immediately following that month has to be taken over by the worker itself. That is, for example, in this month he has taken he worked for a holiday means then automatically he has to take that compensation, that is generally we say it as CH. That CH has to be compensated in another day, in another working day within the next month or the next preceding month. That is what within 2 months immediately he can avail the compensation holiday. Then coming to that daily hours, that is daily hours talks about per day one worker has to go with a work of 8 hours. That is 8 hours when we talk about. Next coming to that section 55 and 56, intervals for rest. every worker has to be given a break of interval of our rest at least for half an hour is provided. That is, after completing of 5 hours of work, at least he has to give a half an hour work. With approval, the period can exceed to 6 hours also. That is, after 6 hours, he should be given a break. This is what the section 5 talks about. That is, 8 hours he has to work in a factory. After 5 hours of work, he has to give a half an hour interval for rest. That half an hour interval of rest has to be given immediately after working of 5 hours. That 5 hours can be exceeded with proper approval by the occupier. That 5 hours can be increased to 6 hours also. Okay? According to the approval inspector, they can go with 6 hours of work also. They can give the interval for the workers. Then coming to the spread over. What is the spread over means? As I said in daily hours 54 section, every worker has to work for 8 hours in a week. But in cases any type of work nature is being has to be continued more than 8 hours means they can spread over. That is, the periods of work includes the interval for rest shall exceed to 10.5 hours in a day only, which is the limit they have been given according to the manufacturing process. That spreading over, that is 8 hours to 10.5 hours can spread over the working hours in a factory. If with the permission, they can increase the 10.5 hours to 12 hours also according to the approval from the government or from the authorized person according to Factories Act. This is what spread over. Spread over is nothing but they can exceed the 8 hours with more than 10.5 hours. But 10.5 hours also can be extended with 12 hours with proper permission. Then coming to this night shift, that is which can be called as night shift according to Factories Act. It is being given here. Night shift, when we are calling it as, it is between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. That is morning to evening. Evening 7 p.m. State government may exempt the options of this 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. That is night shift means which they are calling according to the Factories Act. Is what has been provided under section 57. Night shift means evening 7 p.m. till next morning 6 a.m. This is what this night shift talks about. Then prohibition of overlapping shifts. Here this overlapping shifts when we talk about. Before going to that, I want to say about what is this shift and what is this relay. Then shift means, for example, the manufacturing process where work of the same kind is carried out by 2 or more sets of workers working during different time periods of a day means, then each set is called relay and each of such period is called a shift. Shift means generally we know no general shift, night shift like that. The same, that is same kind is carried out by 2 or more sets of workers. This same work nature is being carried out by 2 or more sets means then we can say it as relay. Then period which we can say it as shift. Shift is nothing but what kind of relays we are going with the period means, then it will be called as relay and shift. Now coming to this overlapping of shifts. No worker is allowed to go with the overlapping of shift from one shift to other shift. That is, he is prohibited for overlapping from one shift basis to other shift basis. On uptake a written order from an inspector, he can exempt with these conditions. You should not overlap with one relay of workers who are engaged in work of the same kind at the same time. Proper permission he is getting from the inspector, then it can be overlapped. Then extra wages for overtime. This also talks about the working hours. If a worker is working more than 8 hours, as we said, spread over is being done in a factory according to their working conditions means, then person whoever working more than 8 hours in a shift, then he should get basic allowances plus including of cash equivalent, that is twice the wages which he is going to get from till 8 hours to next 9th hour, 10th hour and the half hour. That is 10.5 hours whatever he is doing. 8 plus 2.5 hours what they can be calculated as overtime. That 2.5 hours whatever the salary is going to get should be twice the wage of whatever he is going to get in the 8 hours. That is, ordinary rate of wages does not include bonus or overtime work or any piece rate. Worker in a factory are paid on piece rate basis. The time rate shall be deemed as ordinary rate of wages of those workers. All these conditions is applied according to the wage categories which is been given to the workers. That is, extra wages is nothing but more than 8 hours a person is working means that will be called as overtime wages. OT, what generally in short form we will say, that OT should be double the amount of what is going to get as a basic in regular 8 hours work. Then coming to the restriction on double employment, that is, a person whoever working in one shift for one particular period in one company and is continuing with the work of second shift in other company means it is strictly prohibited by the state government according to Factories Act. No worker will be required or allowed to work in any factory on any day on which he has already been working in a other factory. Such circumstances he has to be given a notice of period of work for adults showing clearly he is only working for one day. Maybe no, to earn more money people will go with the double employment. That is purely restricted on the purely restricted in Factories Act. Then notice of period of work for adult has to be clearly mentioned or displayed correctly in a factory premises, that is showing the period of work, how many workers are working, showing clearly for everyday period adults what is the leave option, that is holiday options they are having. All this has to be given a notice of periods of work for adults which has to be displayed, maintained correctly in accordance with the every factory. Then register of adult workers under section 62, it talks about every manager has to maintain register of adult workers, that is whoever being called under the heading of worker, he has to maintain a register, that is payroll, what generally we will say it as any worker is being carried out on a factory means his name, nature of work, in which relay he is working, what are the shift timings he is doing, hours of work corresponding with the notice should be given according to the register they are maintaining. This is what about register of adult. Then hours of work to correspond with the notice also has to be maintained in the register, that is as per 61 and 62 whatever we are taking in concern, these also has to be maintained. Now other things which can included in this working hours means employment of women, employment of young person. Here if employment of women is being provided,